Tony, I discussed the Optus issues and the outage of 000 at the top of the program with Cam Redhead, but given you have a very big regional seat and a lot of areas that are actually quite remote, I mean, I always go to people living in a regional Australia because if you're on a farm and every farm is an industrial site, terrible accidents can happen really quickly. You need to get onto the ambulance, you need to call 000 or, you might need other support. You've got all the issues anyway with my mobile phone coverage. How's this playing out in your community?
Well, people across my electorate are very interested around these failures because it's the kind of failure we live with daily, Peter. There are very many parts of my electorate where you simply can't make a phone call, including a 000 call, and yet we're now seeing this playing out in a metropolitan context. And increasingly in this country, as we're seeing an even greater divide between rural constituents and metropolitan constituents, there are more and more occasions where it's only an issue when it plays out in a regional, in a metro setting. Now, that was the case with the algal bloom in South Australia. It's often the case with drought. The recent drought in South Australia was only really an issue when it came close to metropolitan Adelaide. And it's been fascinating to watch these failures play out and how critical everyone understands the need to be able to make a 000 call. I just want people to have some empathy for rural and regional Australians who live with the uncertainty of being able to make an emergency call. As you correctly point out, a mobile phone now on a farm is your first piece of critical emergency kit. And so often there are no bars, there's no SOS ability, and you're stuck out there. And so this is why it's critical that we continue to prioritise the rollout of regional telecommunication infrastructure. And it's been highlighted by this failure, which has been highlighted via the Minister's and Optus's failures recently.
Yeah, look, credit to the member for Mallee too here, Anne Webster, because she's been raising this in the Parliament, speaking up for communities like yours. Let's go to the story today that the Minns Labor government's got at least 10 secret reports where they've modelled the price impact of renewables and emissions policies on power prices in New South Wales, Jamie. Now, the fact that they refuse to release these reports, what does that tell you?
Well, so much for transparency, huh? I mean, if they've got nothing to hide, why wouldn't you just release these documents? And I think it's saying what we're all thinking and what we're all seeing in our energy prices is that this renewable energy transition is expensive. And I think one report in particular that highlighted to me was in the 10th document, which was around that Waratah super battery and what exactly to do with it. The industry actually said that report should be made public because there's multiple aspects to that would be of interest. Oh no, that's denied. And I think, Peter, at the moment, at the top of your show, when you were talking about the ISIS brides and the government hiding what's going on there, we need to stop treating the Australian public like mugs. Start being transparent and telling us things that we need to know. And this around the energy is so important. Families, businesses can't keep their doors open. We have every right to know what is going on with this transition. And I'm just sick to death of being treated as if we're mugs and that we're stupid and that we can't look into what's going on here.
And we're treated like the ATM too. Don't forget today, $600 million of taxpayers' money has been put forward to bail out Glencore, and I support the smelters staying open, but I tell you what, Australians need to know exactly what's causing this problem, and we all know it's a government that's out of its depth in terms of managing this transition. I'll leave it there. Thank you, Tony, and particularly you for giving us a straight answer rather than the usual police speak on the question of party room leaking, which I think everyone's frustrated with. I'll leave it there.